I told you that I would keep my ear to the streets, so I did. And now I have some updates.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is some messy, messy shit. Like I said I would keep my ear to the street and I would keep you guys updated on what I found out about the whole situation between our Queen's Court and what the hell happened down to the Escape concert. Okay, so I have some more information. Now, the thing is, where we left off, we were talking about whether or not it was Candy that was behind it or some other people and all of this. Well, quite naturally, a piece of it was every man wants a woman. Of course, a piece of it was her. And I think it was pretty much the whole group as a whole. So when Maddie stated those escape cunts, she meant just that, the escape cunts. And she didn't single anybody out, okay? She didn't single them out, but all of the weight, pretty much, from what I'm looking at, is kind of falling on to Candy. So from what I'm gathering, we definitely are going to be looking at Candy's ass on the docket, on the chopping block, whenever we get to the next Queen's Court. And it's sad. It's really sad because what I'm gathering, Candy did what she did out of friendship for the most part and out of her own embarrassment and everything. She don't like you talking about her and stuff. So, all the every man wants a woman, all of that, and then being told that, she had loose puss and that she was a little slutty and that kind of thing. She didn't appreciate none of that shit. So, of course, she would actually step in the way of Maddie and Kaya using her platform. But the only bad thing was she was manipulated. She was manipulated and set up to take the fall. Everybody knows Candy likes to do what she does, and she kind of likes to keep it on the down low, and she likes to keep the mess away from her name for the most part. There's a person of interest, somebody that we don't know, we never heard of, and we probably will never hear of again after all of this shit hits the fan. And his name is Sir Nate Stewart's with a Z. Now, pay close attention. Fits the bill. Pocket gay. That's that bill he fits. I don't know what actual job he does, but in Maddie's posting, it said basically, it led us to believe that he's somewhat of a gopher or an assistant or something of that nature, because he runs and gets their hair and runs and gets them soda pop. So I said, well, he must not be a hairdresser or a stylist, or maybe he's a budding hairdresser or stylist. I don't know. I do hair and I do fashion. I'm not going to get no bitch no pop, but I guess, I don't know. Whatever. But the one thing that I do know that Nate does, Nate seems to be a messy bitch. And he seems to be one who likes to try to elevate on the backs of others. So it seems to me that Candy would probably want to watch him, because I think he's coming for Dawn Juan's job. It's like, girl, you trying to be up underneath Candy and trying to put her down with things. He's seen Maddie and Kaya in the hallway at the venue, and he went and took it upon himself to report to Candy that the girls were there. Okay. Now, in the midst of all of that, I don't know where the whole thing of them having weapons on them came from. I don't know what that is all about. I don't know where it transpired from, but it gave me very much throwback to Phaedra type of tease, because the climate that we're in and being in Atlanta and at a venue, and then throwing out there that there were weapons on hand, could have actually went totally wrong, and Kaya and Maddie could have been really hurt in the process. So I thought that was really deep and dangerous, and I didn't really care for that. I sat and I saw where this whole thing went. There ended up being this ongoing battle after all of this has happened about, it was actually between Nate and Maddie for the most part. And Nate's credibility has been shot into the toilet. So whatever job that you were trying to get yourself into, I think you've screwed yourself. I think you've put the nails in your coffin of whatever career you were trying to build, especially when it comes to Candy. I'm just saying what I've seen of Candy and how that bitch moves. Because you've put her in a position at this point with your bullshit. You took her and you made her believe that you were, and he actually made a post. There was a post where he had paraphrased about her being a boss and this, that, and the other, and her having them removed from the premises and all of that, and that was a boss bitch move and this, that, thing, and the other, and upholding, Toya and Reginae and all of this. When at the bottom of it and at the end of the day, it was never about Toya and Reginae. It was never about Toya and Reginae. It was all about Nate doing two things: kissing up the Candy, and then he actually self-admittedly in social media, he got all of this shit drummed up and started up about Keisha K. Orr, Gucci Mane's wife, who wasn't at the concert, who probably don't give two shits about what was going on. He went back into this whole thing about upset about the things they said about Keisha K. Orr months ago on the Queen's Court. Months ago. So you were upset with them about them talking about Keisha K. Orr, who you are already friends with. So you took your ass over there and manipulated Candy into doing dirty work for you, where she was thinking that she was upholding her friend, but really she was using her power to do your dirty work. Baby, I don't know who told you Candy works like that, because she does not. She does not. The only person that I know that Candy would do dirty work for would probably be Todd. If he asked her, she probably go out of her way and use some of her power to move some things around for Todd, or maybe Mama Joyce. I know it ain't no bitch named Nate, because we don't know you, bitch. And you got some mess with you, girl. Mess. And then you're lying, saying that they were actually thrown out of the venue. And then Maddie posted footage. They weren't thrown out of anywhere. They asked to leave. They said they were ready to leave. They weren't going to be able to perform and all of that, and stated they weren't there for Escape and fuck Escape, and they didn't want to stay. But Vince asked them if they wanted to stay for the concert and all of that, and then sent them. Then when they said no, they didn't want to stay, he went ahead and that was it, and they were able to go ahead and go. But they weren't thrown out. You were trying to lead people to believe that they were literally like drugged out of the venue, and that is not what happened. See, that's some Queen mess. That's some old faggoty bullshit, sensationalizing things. And I just look. I showed you all the picture of this little Nate person earlier. Take a good look now, and I'm going to say this: that Nate, honey, I'm going to tell you a couple more things about Lady Nate, honey. Needs to just go somewhere and sit down, and I mean, I want you to go and sit down very carefully, Nate. Bitching, you know why. Sit very carefully. I watched your page, honey. I looked through your page, honey, trying to figure out who you were and what you were all about, baby. And it just seems to me, see, it's called a timeline for a reason. It's called timeline for a reason. I'm going to give you a compliment. Now, you used to be a chunky girl, like myself. You used to be a little brown-skinned chunky girl, honey. Not bad looking at all. You're really not. You're not bad looking. You're a bit overdone. Bit overdone. You know, a lot of Beijing going on, a lot of things going on. But like I said, it's a timeline. So we can see where your body has actually, girl, you got your body together, Miss Thing. Now I'm going to give you that, bitch. You got your body together. Girl, you lost some weight. And you look really nice. Like, it looks really nice on you. And you really do keep yourself up. You are very fashionable. You know, not always my thing. I think you go a little overboard with the themes sometimes with some of the things you put on, girl. I mean, you really go there, girl. I said, child, when I looked down and seen her with the whole Bangladeshi thing going on and Aladdin shoes, I said, girl, get on down, bitch. But what I did notice, your waist is snatched, Miss Thing. And you hang out with Keisha K, or your waist should be snatched. Okay? So your waist is snatched. But, bitch, you got a little K. Michelle thing going on there, don't you, bitch? So, like I said, sit down. But sit down carefully. Fix a flat, anyone? Anyone? Moving on. I think you're going to have a problem. Problem being, honey, when January 8th gets here, baby, that Queen's Court is going to throw the gavel, the scepter, and the goddamn crown at Candy. And I don't think she's going to be very happy with you. Because, again, you manipulated Candy. You totally manipulated Candy into doing some dirty work that you wanted done, all about Keisha K. and your own little personal thing. It had nothing to do with Candy. You involved them in some bullshit. Now, speaking of, one more real shady thing that I found out about little Madame Stewart's with the Z, honey. Gucci Mane undoubtedly gave a bunch of the guests, over 150 of the guests, diamond necklaces about a week after their wedding ceremony that had the date of the wedding, 10/17, on them. Why did this punk get up on his page and write in there, I really want to keep it for my my jewelry collection, but I'm really thinking about pawning it, paying a couple bills. Who are you, ma'am? Who are you? You, girl, who are you, honey? Who does that? Like, who would even insinuate that? And why do I believe you? Why do I believe that you probably did pawn that piece of jewelry? And how dare you? Like, who that right there shows you that you don't even deserve to be in their circle. Girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit your goddamn Ford Motor Company ass down somewhere, bitch. Ridiculous. That right there says that bitch has the character of a bitch that I would not be caught walking across the street with. Just tacky as hell. Anyway, fuck her. Moving on. It's terrible that bitch got out here and got all this shit started. Some motherfucking nobody who's going to be a nobody. I'm going to give you 2 seconds of time, but bitch, you're going to be a nobody, bitch. An absolute nobody starting all this shit with these people. Girl, what Selena said it best, hey, there's a special place in hell for a bitch that starts contention in between other bitches. You're going to get it, girl. You're going to get it, honey. Now, let me tell y'all one thing that Oh, another thing that transpired from this, Toya. So, Toya's been very quiet since they drug her ass. Her and Regine and her mama and the poor baby and all that. But since they let her have it, she's been really quiet. But undoubtedly, there was a post on the Shade Room about this whole situation, and Toya actually had gone in and she thanked Madame Stewart's with the Z, thanked her about what she did. And then people provided more receipts, baby. Provided receipts that he had keyed real deep on his page about the roast that was done on the Queen's Court about Toya. So you run around thanking him, and honey, that was a slap right in your face, because when you got roasted, that bitch was sitting around on the sideline kikiing and laughing. He never gave a fuck about you, your daughter, or none of y'all and what was being said. He laughed right alongside with the rest of everybody else. And they provided receipts of him praising Kaya and praising the Queen's Court and loving the Queen's Court and all of this. See, those are the when you hear messy sissy, those are the types of sissies that actually come up. Not me. I have my ways with me, but messy, that should not be a word that's used on me. This type of bitch is the type of messy sissy. When you talk about messy sissies, that's the type of bitch that you're talking about. A bitch that will switch on you in a minute, be smiling in your face, digging a fork in your back, bitch, and got a knife ready to stab you in your Louboutin, honey. That's a messy bitch. Sitting around, grinning and smiling with Maddie and them. He flipped on Maddie and Kaya. He flipped on Toya. And he literally manipulated Candy. That, my dears, is a messy bitch. So going forward into 2018, I want you all to have your goddamn eyes open and peeled for hashtag messy bitches. You understand? Hashtag messy bitches. Now you have the full definition of what a messy bitch looks like. So, hashtag messy bitches. Anyway, speaking of messy bitches, I have another little thing that I'm going to throw out here before I leave. Something in my spirit, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But for some reason, as we've been going through this, in just the last basically 48 hours in general, something is on my back, baby, telling me to say this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it. Tamar Braxton. Why does it seem to me like Claymation is playing devil's advocate? Something is telling me that Claymation is playing devil's advocate. Something is not sitting right with me, because this whole jump up and you love the Queen's Court and you're so in love with the girls, and I know her and Maddie were pretty friendly before, but Tamar doesn't take really well to anybody saying anything about her. And she's taken the things that were said about her on the Queen's Court in such stride with no problem. So there's two things that are sticking out to me. Did you jump up and decide that you wanted to make this move for them? Because of course you knew that this would be a good thing for them to actually be able to hit the stage. You knew it would actually help with gaining this momentum that they're going to gain anyway. Because I've told you before that you can't stop this train. The train is going to go. So, do you want to play a part in basically helping them out and befriending them because you got so much shit coming out that you know that they're going to slap your ass on the docket, and maybe they'll take a little bit of a step back from you if y'all are really, really cool? Because see, you're cool with Maddie, and Maddie lays off you, but Kaya would let your ass have it. So is it done for that reason? Or was it actually done just to really spite Toya? I don't know. For some reason, my spirit is telling me that Tamar is not being 100% friend. Just saying, these is my girls and I really want to help them along. So these is my girls. I'm going to put these bitches on. Because I don't get that from you. Because I don't ever get from you that you're 100% of anyone's friend. I always, in the whole time that we've known Tamar, and I'm talking all the way back before her new face and all, before she became Claymation, when she was actually just Tamar Braxton, Tamar never seemed to ever do anything for anyone that doesn't benefit her in some way, shape, or form. Now, like I said, I'm not sure, but something in my spirit is laying there. And when it's on me like that, there's a reason that it's on me like that. So I got to get it up off of me. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all leave it down there in the comments. Again, January 8th, 10 p.m.-ish. The Queen's Court. We'll get the rest of what's really going on. And we can stop doing all the speculate. We'll know exactly what's going on. I'll see you all there. Until then, ear will be to the street. If I see anything else, I'll be back. Later.